Alrighty. Let's see, microphone's getting picked up. Let's open up that sweet, sweet live captioning service and see some actual live captioning happen. There we go. I just heard a very quiet Gruntilda laugh in this track. Let's see. Alright. Okay. Huzzah! Yay. Okay. I have everything pulled up. I have everything just about ready. I think our music should be fine. Our captions are good. The hat's on. We have the lighting. Alright, cool. Yeah, you'll notice I'm on this side. One sec. Put that right there. Yeah, there we go. Hold up. Wait a minute. I might be able to push this to the back. Order. Move up, move down. Move to top, move to bottom. Ah, I see. So then if I move this up. Ah, there it is. Yeah, that's exactly how it was supposed to be. Cool. There we go. Okay, so. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. It's me, Sergeant Killer Snow, with Killer Snow Games. Oh, nope, that was wrong. I fucked up my own intro. And I used a cuss word in the first 10 minutes. Throw out the whole stream. I'm Sergeant Killer Snow with Snow Studio Games, and today we are not going to be working in a game engine. We are going to be working strictly in Visual Studio. We are going to be coding using the C++ language, and we are going to be creating a little bit of just a little maze. A little 8x8. We could probably go up to 10x10, or any size, honestly. But we just needed to start at the very least at an 8x8 size, and while I'm at it, I might also need to create a path. Now that I think about it, because I have not actively done that. So what we can do is, I'm just gonna open up Photoshop real quick and see if I can make a quick square document, which I probably have a blueprint for already. A blueprint template, you know what I mean. Which one? We'll go with 512 by 512, 96 ppi. No, why the hell did you just change up? I didn't say that. There you go. Do the right thing. Okay. Now on this 512 by 512, let's see if we can do some guides. New guide layout. No. It's gonna need 8, 8, and these are going to be what? Yeah, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice. So I think I can actually lock these guides in. That's pretty good. So let's consider this a little representation of our maze, right? Each of these spaces is going to be either a space that the player can occupy, a space that the player is occupying, or a wall that the player cannot occupy. It could also be the starting point or the end point, but those should kind of go without saying. I should probably put on my glasses. Also should go without saying. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this. I'm going to go ahead and drop 2, 3. So on layer 1, we're going to use text. Probably just a little of that. And we're going to use ampersand. And that is the player. Nope, don't need to do anything to it. Let me just rename it. And this would be, let's see, we'll call this a wall, which is going to be something that the player cannot traverse into. And that is going to be a very simple pound sign. And then layer 3 is going to be, it's supposed to just be a period, so it, like a dot, so that's what it will be. It's quite merely just boop. Alright, maybe just a little bit smaller than that, damn. Path. Alright, now that we have those things, we can mess around with this. So the player can just kind of like chill right there. And these two can get added to... We're going to rasterize this. Both of these can go to a... Not a clipping mask. I need you guys to go to a group. That's right. We need to make the group first, and then we'll have to re-add it into the group. And this is going to be... maze. We're making this group and dropping those in there now, so that way we can kind of just minimize... Well, as soon as we click on one of these, it's going to unminimize itself. Let's go ahead and see about getting this relatively centered. Yeah, there it is. No, that doesn't quite look right. That looks more accurate. Okay. So now we can take this, pull it down here. And you saw how it pulled that thing off to the right, or to the left. It off-centered it again. I don't think Photoshop likes that particular spot. It's fine. Okay. These we can pull these down and do that. That works. This isn't for the actual maze, by the way. This is for a visual representation, so I can go ahead and prepare how I want our array to assign these values. What's supposed to be a wall, what's supposed to be walkable, etc. So we can... My neck Oh, there it goes. Yes, indeed. Okay. Hmm. I'm probably going to wind up creating a struct for the player. And the struct for the player is going to include the character for the player and the coordinates for the player. Yeah, I think that should be the best. I'm going to pull this over. Go back down, copy all of it again, do it again. Excuse me. They kind of just ignored my copying of everything else. Pretty neat. God damn it. I didn't mean to grab a copy of the player, so we'll be careful with that and make sure that we get rid of it. Be gone. And now we can go back and copy all of these paths yet again. I really need to stop messing that up. It's such a simple thing. Why? Why do I have problemas? Always the problemas. Siempre, siempre. Okay. There we go. So right now, these dots represent walkable areas. The ampersand represents the player. Now we need to go ahead and represent the walls that the player cannot walk through. Ooh. So I think I'm going to maze path, and then I'm gonna move the wall out of here. So that way the walls can have their own folder. So new group, maze, walls. Toss that wall in there, and now we can start its duplication process after I lock this, and probably this. There we go. Now nothing else is going to move. So we'll put this here. Copy it there. Y'all really? Shouldn't even be clickable right now. Please don't do that to me. I will get very annoyed. I'm gonna offset it because right now it's having trouble determining like what I should be clicking on, and I don't like it. So we have this. We're going to copy it over here, over this over here. So that'll let the player able to move this way, up. I want them to kind of come this way, down, up, over. Yeah, will be a couple things. Go that way or this way. This will lead them ultimately down here. This can block this. Take this and scoot it down and over. And then we'll put the block off right there. So they can go down here, down, da, da, da. Do this here. So going down this way is the appropriate path. You can get blocked off here. Put that there. I'm gonna put an X to mark the goal. It's awful. It's okay. Lock that layer too. And let's go ahead and pull this. So it can go down, they can go this way or this way. Actually, yeah, right there. And we'll block that here. There we go. Now let me lock the walls real quick, unlock the maze paths, and I want to highlight and grab those guys. Get rid without merging the group. Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. Merge group. Get rid of these. Those, do I have? Yes, I do have continuous selection on, so let me go ahead and just go through this real quick. Get rid of these, this, these. Oh, definitely some of these. This is just atrocity, and goodbye. Now to grab basically all the maze walls. Oh, whoops. Let's grab all of the maze walls. It does not want to... Oh, because it's on layer. If I switch that to group, I can move them all at once. Now I go down to regular group or regular layer, so that way I can kind of fine tune them a bit. So that way I know exactly where everything is. Okay. It should be fine. Whoops. We're gonna save this as... Where's my programming? And we're gonna go ahead and save this as maze planning. Maze module planning. We'll export a copy of that, so that way I don't have to keep Photoshop open, using up my resources. Export this as well to the appropriate folder for programming. Alright, so now that means that I can keep a little image of what we plan to do. It's good, that's fine. Oop. Lost it somewheres. There it is. Okay. So now we're actually going to get to the part where we're coding stuff. You'll notice I already have stuff kind of templated out here. It's 63 lines. It's a very basic template that was provided via a module in our Zybooks workbook, which is like an online internet workbook thing. It has a lot of supplementary information that they don't have the time to teach us primarily in the class, and then it also has exercises. So one of the exercises for the same week that this was assigned, that's right, this was assigned like 2 weeks ago, and I'm just now getting time to do it when it's due tomorrow. So when it was assigned, the module's Zybook stuff had relevant, you know, various little tidbits that would get added up to make this script altogether. I know that there's better ways to explain that. Let me grasp my vocabulary here. The workbook module that was assigned the same week as this maze module had all of the components of the maze module code hinted at throughout the examples provided. That is the professional way to say that. There we go. I found my words. I used my vocabulary. Yay! I'm gonna go ahead and take a break. I'm kidding. I'm not actually taking a break. I'm right here. I know I've been here for less than a half hour. I just gotta go grab something. Alright, so because I don't have an ice tray, well, I do have ice trays, but I usually don't have a reason to have any ice. And I didn't put my energy drinks in the fridge in time, as in earlier this morning. So it's only been in the fridge for an hour, and it is not cooled off yet. I am not pleased about it. So I need to go ahead and set a quick timer for like 15 minutes. Because I just threw one of my energy drinks into a bag of water with an ice pack in it, and then threw it in the freezer to ensure that everything would cool off much faster. So if in 15 minutes my shit ain't cold, then I guess that's just how it's gonna be, and I'm gonna drink it like that. Okay. So, okay. So we've already set constant expressions here, which means that these values are not going to change. We're not going to change the size of our maze, but we want to have these predetermined variables set, so that way if we want to change the size of it, we just need to change the numbers that these values are equal to instead of going through the whole code and changing a bunch of stuff there. So this will set the size of the whatchamacallit, and this, since we now have an expression for map size, excellent. Character, C player. We also want character. I'm putting E there for environment. It was path. Path it was. Whoops. Make sure that I'm typing the right things. Also, I need to put my wrist rest on here. My wrist has been killing me. A lot of parts of my body have just been kind of falling apart. The struggle. Aging. It sucks. Right, here we go. E-path. I'm also going to set the values for these already, because I know what they're going to be. So, path is going to be equal to that. Wall is going to be equal to that. And player is, of course, going to be equal to at. Meaning that. So when we fill the map, contents of Gmap printed on a single row. I haven't looked over the template again since I did the assignment initially, like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks ago now. So, I will be doing my best, my darndest, to not only make sense of stuff, but to also rewrite it as needed for the current, use. Print the contents of the map on a single row here. For the K width times K height. Gemini. Printed as a 5x6 grid. Let's change that to 8x8. Eight rows of 8 characters. And it would be set to index coordinates are being get index coordinates here, which is return x plus y times width. That was a function that was given to us. Not given to us, rather. That's what we had to figure out for the assignment before, was how to get the index coordinates. We had to write in the, I think it was something here for filling the array, and then the index coordinates possibly. We'll see. Be E path, or would it be E wall? This one would be E path. Possibly. This is going to be size. K height, K width, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. All the rest looks fine. Although I might make coordinate pairs as a thing too. Yeah, I think that should be a thing. So, said I was going to do some struct. So the first one I want is going to be coordinate pair. That, and that, and do that. Alright, that's the format for doing, for creating a struct. And a struct is almost like a class, which you can go ahead and declare in your script. They're interchangeable, really, at this stage. So, class and or struct. And we're just kind of creating a struct called coordinate pairs, and we're going to tell it that it will contain an int that will be assigned the variable name x, and a second int whose variable name will be y. So now we have something that we can call that can quite literally be just what would be coordinate pairs. Now it's a class that we can just toss in there, and we could say player coordinates. Done. I think we also had starting coordinates already. Be 0 on the x. And 1 on the y. Yeah, let me go ahead and set those values now. So when you're declaring this, you can also go ahead and set the variables by saying that this is equal to, and then you go ahead and drop the curly brackets to indicate a set, and this is the set of information you're going to put in. 0, 1. Now you've given it 0, which is going to automatically populate to the first thing in the struct that matches the int category, which is x, and then it'll do the same with the next one, which is y. So now our player coordinates will be 0, 1 to start with as an initialized value. And next we want to go struct player character. And what we can do for player character is say that the player character is this. Might make this a... You know what? Oh, it's not valid there? Sure. Okay, that's fine. Leave it as a regular character, C_player. That's that. And then we can put player coordinates. Hold up. Void set coordinates, and this is going to have int new x int new y. Okay. Yeah, there's no definition for it because I haven't written one in yet, but I don't think I need to do anything complicated, right? I think setting it in here would be... Oh, wait. I still have Zybooks open. I can also pull up the other example that was more geared towards writing the structs, which I just did quite literally last night at 4 in the... this morning at 4 in the morning. In fact, I know that I sent a message to my instructor that had a whole bunch of stuff in here. So let's see, that was declaring that. Where was the struct? Oh, right up there, and then void print was what they did there. That's fine. Awesome. And then you just fill in everything else. Alright, yeah, cool. We want set coordinates to be... x is equal to new x. Y is equal to new y. There shouldn't be anything else needed there. It's quite literally that simple. We're not returning a value because we don't need to report that new location anywhere. We're just setting those values as the new coordinates for our player. And this will be called whenever the player does an input that will, you know, do the requested thing. And we'll ask them for that input during the game loop. We'll have to create a little game loop because currently this only prints out the map. Or at least, you know, currently this should print out the map. I really ought to test this, huh? Oh. Any key to close this window? Okay. Oh boy. Contents of a GMAP printed on a single row, and there's a bunch of the... Is that actually 64 of them? There's no way. I need to see something. Oh wait, there's no word count in Notepad, is there? No, there isn't. Yeah, there is. It was quite literally 64. Yeah, it printed out all 64. Right there on that first line. Huh. Oh, so it prints out the entire map, but on one row, and then it prints it as the grid. Alright, got it. And then in this case, it wound up not doing what I needed it to for the grid, because it printed it out not as an 8x... Oh wait, it did print it as an 8x8. I'm forgetting that the period, that the dot there is part of it. So it's not a separator, it's actually one of the values. And all it did was alternate back and forth between those things. Because of this. So we will fix that up. Oh man, my brain is itching in a bad way. My instructor went over something very, very key to understanding how to properly do a particular thing that my brain is having trouble recollecting. So I'm gonna see if there's anything posted anywhere for this particular class that'll let me see recorded whiteboards, maybe? Possibly? Class resources and recordings will be here. Aha! Module 10. Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely, please. I will download all of it. Yes, Mod 10 demo, download there, it's fine. We're gonna extract all that. Good. M10, M10, there it is. So M10 demo, here, rotate that a little bit. Let me open up this one. Downloaded from the web. Yes. I trust my teacher did not put a virus into the class's Google Drive. Ah. Alright. So, see, this is where he explained how to use the struct and all that stuff, which was really cool. And... Oh, so there's like... Okay. Well, there's two different commands for printing. Oh wait, I think he was showing the various different ways you can do it. I forgot there's definitely going to be like reiterations of how to do things here. /T is basically the code's way of understanding a shortcut combination, and that shortcut combination is to tab, insert enough space for a tab. /N is new line, which is basically the same as hitting enter on the key, going down one. Yeah. Game using array. Okay. So game would be the struct, and they define two players within that struct and call them Scott and Jeff. And then an alternative way is to just have it be players and a number. Understood. Scalars, okay. Parallel array. Yeah, I like the wording. That's if you're using an array for your structs and stuff like that. If you're really array heavy, I can tend to get a little array heavy. So an aggregate initialization is basically if you've got multiple values in your, what you call it? So you see how the variable for game, wait, where was it? For player? Yeah, player. And it wants a name, or rather a string, and then it wants an int. Why is there what? Really? I don't know why that's there. That's weird. It looks like it just splits it up without actually doing anything. I'll have to look that up. There's a lot of resources for C++, by the way. So if there's anything that's confusing, you could literally just look up the term on Google, Google the term, type C++ before or after it, and you'll get so many resources for it. It's ridiculous. 3 ways to do the same thing, right? That would be global, that would be a member, and that's just direct access. Understood. A struct of structs. Yes, I have also thought of doing that. All those are fine and good, but I don't think it's what I was actually looking for. No, still not. Close this one out. Get rid. Oh no, there was no video, huh? Where can I find out? I can find out. Oh, hey, one of my quizzes was graded. That's A. That's cool. That's cool. I need the home page. There's that. Go back to the drive. Oh, recordings is a whole separate folder. Oh, I see. And then it just has the links that takes me right back to... Oh, I see. I understand now. I'm gonna lower that volume for that to like 5. Let's see. That was going over my assignment. So checking an answer. Nope, he's still going over. Man, he spent a while on mine. I think I accidentally monopolized almost an hour of my instructor's time at the start of class without realizing it. Sorry, still reading through. It's 4 hours of footage, or no, this is 2 hours of footage. Interesting. It must have cut off early at some point. But I am looking through some Zoom footage of class from last week or the week before. Oh my god, my eyes. Why are you flashbanging me, sir? Oh, because Zybooks, you have your Zybooks in a browser that you can't edit. Okay. Now he's going over the thing I need. I talk a lot in class. I'm not going to pull it up because even if I don't show you all the chat log, you can still see I use the same setup for all this. I just switch it to the solo mode scene so they don't see most of my UI stuff. Right, I think this is the part that I was getting a little hung up on. Nope, never mind. Son of a bitch. It's over an hour later and he's still looking at mine. Oh, okay, no, he went back to mine for something. Oh my god. That's wild. Okay. That's right, the character text array. Oh, what was that? 8.15.1. Dealing with 2D coordinates. That's what I wanted. Yeah, I don't need everything from it. I just need something to nudge me in the right direction. And I think that exercise was right before this. Yep, dealing with 2D coordinates. I'm done. Actually, I'm going to move that to a new window. Put that right back over there. Okay. One-dimensional, because each element assigned only a single number. Yeah, okay, got that. Hello, array operations. Visualize data is two-dimensional. Alright, so yeah. First row would be 0, first column is 0, and then +1 for everything going through. Letter Y, whose index is 9. Oh, the index would be 9 because it would be the 10th letter in the array, because everything printed out in the array would just be one long thing. I need to write this shit out as one long thing real quick. That's what I gotta do real fast. This. Oh boy. Yep, okay. Screw it, I'm gonna open up the notepad and do it here. No point in me physically writing it down where y'all can't see it. So, for 64 different numbers. So it'll be from 0 to 63. What do I want to set the value scale to? Let me do a little legend right here and say 0 equals player. One equals, what you call it, path, and then 2 equals wall. So that would mean that at the very least for, I don't need player on there actually. Path and wall, 1 and 2. We're gonna, yeah, 1 and 2. And now as one long string here, we want path for 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 16, 17, 18, 19, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Oh, wait a minute. I flipped it. I done fucked it up halfway through. Two, two, 1, 2, 2, 1. 2, 2, 2. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1. 2. 1, 1, 1. Yes. 2, 2, 1. 2. Yes. Okay, so it was just here that I messed it up. This was supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So for every 1 on there, it's going to be a, what do you call it? It's going to be a path, and it's going to be a wall. iterate through the whole thing and do... What was the original thing here? Gmap I equals... Okay, yeah. I don't think I can actually do it this way. I think we'll have to say that g underscore map is equal to the set. And that set is going to be up setting. So first off, let's start with the ones, which is going to be the paths. We make sure to copy that little bit of space. All right. So now I can pull these back up, or at least have that there. And we're gonna go ahead and say, oh boy. We're gonna say, oh boy, a lot. See, that's... That's not gonna work for me. Jesus. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is for those two that are going to be in between the next path. And then do that. Copy these two walls again. Let's see, that's 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. We'll do another 1, 2, 2. With another 2. Something wrong with me. Why's this one bad? Too many initializer values? Oh, is it not actually? Oh my god. Oh my god. It's alright, I'll probably wind up having to move it up, but I want to make sure that I get everything on here first. So we have another double path. With a wall and another 2 paths. Two paths, wall 2 paths, wall 3 paths. Two walls, 1 path. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 walls. That's wild. Walls. Walls. And then we have... How many of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 paths. Nicely done. Then we have a little 2-1-1 action again. Now we have... Oh, wow. Okay. Another 2-1. And a bunch of 2s coming up. Actually, 5 2s, which is pretty much this. 3, 4, 5. Copy those, drop them in. Do another E-path, E-wall. And then we just need 6 more paths. Which, look at that, path's a pain right up here. Okay, now let's see if I can... actually make this... Let's see if this will work. That will work. I guess, perchance, I can ignore this? Let's see, what was this one again? We have that array. Yep. X coordinate, Y coordinate, and then your index value would be, yeah, okay. So we would fill the map, then we would wind up just kind of printing the map all the same. I hope. We still have map size there as a constant that we can still use in other spots. Let's see. Build error is great. Awesome. Undeclared identifier. What? Oh, wait a minute. Where did I identify that at? There it is. There it is. Scoot it up. Build errors. Cannot convert initializer list to character. Where? Oh, right. So what if I actually just be gone with all of that? Get rid of fill map. Get rid of fill map here as well. And right here is where you were actually called. We'll comment you out there. Look at that. That's our map. It works. It exists. Zoom in a bit so that way people can see. Voila. So the intent is for our character to basically start there and then go through and be able to navigate with WASD keys to navigate the maze and try and find their way to the exit, which would be over here. And I zoomed in by holding control and using my mouse wheel. My nose so itchy. Don't grow nose hairs. Feels horrible. Okay, so we have print map there. We can see that fill map is no longer needed. We'll get rid of it in all of its locations. Alright. Get a little separation of stuff. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Be right back. Whoopsies! Right here. So, we've got our coordinates that print out. That's good. Oh, wait, I can't do spaces like that. I was gonna try and put a little space there, but then it wouldn't be a character, it would be a string. You gotta be careful with that. Character is an individual, just one little thing. That's character. So, we got that. I still need to make the player, which is going to be that character. The player is going to need coordinates. We're going to redo what we did down below, but right here. Because that's now defined by something in our player character. So those are going to be starting coordinates. Yeah, I'll borrow that. Why not? Is that the... That was the lab activity. I already had a solution that I gave. So if I go down here and look at get coordinate index, or get index at coordinates. Yes. So these... Oh, I already have that there. I don't need that one, but I am gonna need these. Yep. There we go. So, by having... Oh, I need to lift my seat up a little bit. So now that we've got this... Aha! That's what that was. This is for printing the map, which should only happen that one time, right? And then... I'll need something that is defined as the game loop. So... int... game loop. Little straightforward, but... I mean, we know what it's gonna be. So... Huh. I want to double check on the requirements. Don't allow character to move off the edges of the map, of course. There was also another thing that I remembered, that I set aside a note in one of my other assignments as a reminder to myself. I think I'll find it in my Scratch project. Where is it? We're going all the way up. That's for filling a random array. Where is it? Where is it? Where's the thing? The really cool thing that I learned. Brother. That's configuring robots and whatever. Darn. Unless they use it here. Please use it here. You don't use it here. Okay, I'm gonna have to find it. I don't know where it is that I stashed it, and I'm not about to go absolutely nutty trying to find... Oh, hey, look, it's my Zybooks number 10. I didn't have anything else to add to this. This is where it's at, and I can now look for... We'll just go over here and say... C++, looking, clearing console text. There it is. System CLS. That's what we wanted. I knew that it was something not typically intuitive to me. because I would have done CLR for clear, not CLS. But CLS is for clear screen. So I get it. Dang, what was the thing for waiting for any kind of input too? Had it in one of my previous assignments instead of just notes. Something that I had to turn in, which for this class, there aren't that many. So it had to be for this one, which is the one that the teacher spent almost an hour going over. We did that. Done. See? Oh, it was in this assignment, you see. You see? I knew I had it somewhere. Ah, okay. Yar. Let's copy that. And get rid. It's the getch command. I forget it all the time. So we need to go... And after that, we'll do this. No. Interesting. Is it a namespace issue? We'll find out. Using namespace. Standard is usually something. Am I getting here? Oh, it's not. Let's see if it knows which directory it needs to use. Or not. Well, looks like I shouldn't have closed that project. Open that thing right back up. I forgot that it also was mainly the instructor's code in this project, because he gave us something that was intentionally busted in order to have us fix. That's right. I even laughed about it like crazy. Is that not the one? Oh. No, that should have been it. Oh, look at that. The return value type does not match the... Right. And what was that one supposed to... that returns a character. Darn. Oh wait, get user choice was after a pause of some sort. Hit display state. Then... yeah, we're supposed to just get a choice after that, or... no, it's an update game state. Yep, it's after we make a choice. Get the user choice. So it waits after that. What's telling it to wait? Why don't I remember where the command for this thing to frickin' wait was for? Angor. System pause. Goddamn system pause. Alright. So the game loop is going to need to... Let me move this out of there. I put this here. And I'm going to comment these out so they stop tossing weird squiggly lines at me. But those are the things that I'm going to need to kind of mess around with, because I'm not trying to rip all the code from other things that I've already done. I just need bits and pieces, commands that like I'm thinking of them to use, but I don't remember their names. So I'm actually going to go ahead and say gets user input. A single character of user input. Yeah. So if we use sketch there, I closed out the other thing. I even closed up the folder. It's fine. I think I understand what system pause will do. Okay. Print map will happen once. We don't want to put the get user stuff there. We want this to go to game loop. Whoops. The daisies. Let me make this void game loop first. Yeah, there we go. The reason I made it an int before is because I was going to get the results of each turn and return it there, but I think I will do that separately here. So in the game loop, I want it to print the grid. So we're going to copy that. After it clears that, we print the grid. And then we also... Well, I'm already using namespace, so... cout... Oh, apparently it doesn't want to. Maybe I didn't save it up top. std... Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't. I closed that out. So we're gonna continue practicing typing the long form of the code. Let's see how it's... Player. I need the player. Did I give the player struct? I didn't create a variable for the player. Current index. And we want current index equal to get index at coordinates player coordinates. Yes, no. Ah. That's right, because I have to do .x and then player coordinates .y. Too few arguments in the function call. Oh, wait. As in the width of the thingamabobber, right? The K width? Should be the K width. And why this declaration has no storage class or type container. We're just gonna get rid of that and say that. Does that not work? Oh, I guess not. What would the player's index be starting out at? Oh no, I closed out the picture. Damn it. There it is. Top row is 0 through 7, 8, so it would be 8. So first one will be 8, and then afterwards we'll use this. Putting that there. And saying, what, let me declare that player, finally, somewhere. Because I haven't yet, and I need to. So we're gonna go all the way down here and say, player. Or player character, yes. Player 1. Your stuff should just kind of exist as is. Default. Alright, so we have player 1. Now we want it to... give me space. Give space. Also 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Boop. Yeah. A little better. A little easier to see because I know that will be the layout of it. So I can see paths going all the way through to here. There's the fake path. There's the real path going down there. Okay. We've declared player. So we're trying to see out what? Oh, I think one of the first things for the index, actually, before all of this, I want to go ahead and tell it to do that thing that I set up here. We're going to say player1 dot current index is equal to that. Ah. Player 1 dot, what did I name them here? Player coordinates. Player coordinates dot x. And then we just do player 1 dot. That wasn't a dot. Now it is. Alright, so that starts it off. That sets our coordinates to the default that we set here, which is 0, 0, 1. Which our current index kind of already is that. We told it to, but just to make sure. And what are we left with then? Calling the game loop. This was technically supposed to be, just in case, I wanted it to be at the very top. Now in the game loop, print the clear the screen, print the map. But before it finishes printing out that map, I want it to see out it's not a see out thing, not yet. I'm not trying to print it out yet. I need to break free. Move space. So this is going to be the command that basically will have our character move in the input direction. I need a character. So all right. Direction input. There. So the struct for direction is going to just be I for input, equals W rename this. I want it capital. Y, please. What's broken down here? Oh, what I'm still writing. Perfect. That's meant to still be broken. Next is character I left equals A. Char I down is S. Right. We're keeping it all lowercase because no one's going to be holding shift to move through this. So when we wait for input, we're going to do a check and basically say, hey, if it wasn't one of these, if it wasn't a direction key, then no. Absolutely not. I think if I see out the player 1 dot C player, which is the character for the player. If I see out that, hold on. It might need to be somewhere actually in here. Store starting index. Alright, so we're storing the starting index. Each turn to change the value of the map back to the original? No, I think I just need to overwrite the spot. Or not. My biggest thing is trying to figure out where to get this thing to print, because it will be printing a new map basically each time, with just the difference being the player. So if we're already printing this out, if for index, okay, yeah. If x is equal to player 1 dot player coordinates dot x, and y is equal to player 1 dot player coordinates dot y, then we're going to do something. I hope this works. We're going to std cout g map crap. I just realized something. We get that index first. Then we want to check these. We want to make sure that we encompass this. Actually, we can leave it. Either way, it'll be fine. Because if those values are the same, then that means that we can set the value of that index. We see out the player instead of the index. Duh, okay. Why was my brain having such a hard time understanding that? It may just be some of the residual burnout for the past several years. We're just gonna do this and then that, and perfect. std cout this one's going to be player 1.cPlayer. So that way we don't have to change a value on the map, we just have to tell it to print something else instead of what it was originally going to, without changing the value. So when we do a move space, first thing we want to do is if if direction input is not equal to, I'm just gonna have to go through each one as or statements. If direction input is not equal to, what's it called? Player one, nope, this was direction. Dang. Car M direction. I guess. Oh, I even did the wrong freaking thing. I made that, what, a character? That was wrong. That's not equal to m underscore direction dot down, or, and here we go. Up, or left, or right. If it's not equal to any of those, then we want to tell this to do something. And what we're going to tell it to do is std. First off, we're going to do that clear. It was what? System CLS. Hell yeah. And then we're going to say std cout tell it unrecognized input. Please try again. I think that should honestly be enough for it. Put a /n on that. And cut that off there. And then we can actually tell it to go back to what, the game loop? Yeah. I also forgot to set a variable for I forgot to set a variable for win condition, lose condition. Like a bool that the game is running. Let's go ahead and say bool game running equals false until print map is complete. Once it's done, it will game running equals true. Nice. Once we've set that to true and we go into the game loop should first do a check if game loop, or game running rather, and then we can just kind of jump on down here. Alright, so if the game is running, then we do all the stuff that we're supposed to do, which is going to be clear the screen, print out the stuff with the player where it's supposed to be, and then get reaches the end of its little cycle there. Do we want to go ahead and do a... what was that? Yeah, system pause. Pause. Doesn't matter if it's capital. It might. So we'll just do that. System pause. We'll do move space. Trying to remember which way I was trying to go here. Because we're gonna have to move space. It will go ahead and check our input. Right, so it's move space and then I do the getch command, which should be set aside here as char get player input, player direction input. And we'll do char chosen, or rather, that. This is just going to have that getch command. Which is right here. So we return that. So we'll do move space, get player direction input. This also needs that there. This actually does not need that. Silly me. Cool. So we return the input. It'll go to move space, and then move space is going to check if it's one of our accepted inputs, and if it's not, it'll do unrecognized input, spit it right back out to the game loop. And that is, or should be, totally fine. Now, if we are not, then we're going to have to do that else statement here. In the else, it's going to check the input and compare the coordinates, right? So, damn it. First, I think I need to check the can move. Hey, Abman, welcome. So, in order to find out if this character can move or not, we're going to need to do a little check of if No, first things first, I need to calculate the anticipated, what do you call it? That's right, the what do you call it? Switch. We're gonna do a switch on direction input. And that switch is going to run off Duncan. And by that I mean we're gonna do We're going to do our case-based scenarios, and we're going to say case W, or rather, what would it be? M direction dot up, or I underscore up. Direction needs to be capitalized. Come on now. Yeah, yeah. No. This won't work. I'm trying to use it like an enum value. And that's my mistake. Yeah, that's my mistake. I don't think that's gonna work. At least not setting it as direction. I can quite literally just get rid of the struct part of it and keep this over here. Get rid of this. And now we just change this. Actually, if I hold Alt, I can highlight all those rows. And look at that, no problem. Why? Must be a constant value. I need those to be constant. Alright, cool. So what we're going to do for those, because those aren't going to change, they are absolutely correct. So we can go ahead and do that same thing to highlight the 4 lines. What engine is this on? This isn't in an engine. This is just in Visual Studios. Same thing that we use to code in Unity. We're creating a maze game out of just C++ coding. So it's going to be... it's going to print out basically... You know what? I have a freaking photo that I accidentally closed again. It's a good thing I still have it right here. This is essentially what it's going to look like. The @ symbol is going to be the player. The dots are going to be spaces that the player can occupy, and then the hashtags are going to be walls that the player can't cross. They got to get to the X. And when it prints out, it's going to look like a very small version of this. And when I'm trying to set it up so that way when you do your inputs, it'll go ahead and update things properly and show you where your character is in its new location. So we want to do const expression, and that should fix the little bit of annoyance that we were getting here. Yep, there we go. By telling it that it's going to be a constant character, it knows that it's not going to have to worry about it changing, so it'll assign that actual character value to it. So on that case value, we're going to go ahead and see... If it was up, then we need to see if player 1 dot player coordinates dot y is not equal to 0. And we need to do that because if we don't, then the player might be able to move themselves off the map. We don't want that. So long as their coordinate location is not equal to 0, or their Y location is not equal to 0, then we're going to do player 1 dot player coordinates dot y is equal to... I'm sorry, it's going to be minus equals 1. Yep, that's it. Because when you're thinking of the y value, the y is going to be the vertical. So y is going to be the vertical, and it's going to go from top down, because the first row is going to be on the top always. So thinking of that vertically and thinking of it as an array, if it's an array, the first slot in an array is never going to be slot number 1. It is slot number 0. So that is why we check and make sure. And arrays don't do negatives in their array allocation. So we have to make sure, and then so long as we're not at 0, we are safe to subtract 1 from the coordinate value, so long as it's not 0. Because if it's 1, and we subtract 1 and it becomes 0, that's fine. That just means we're moving up to the top row. And our x obviously isn't going to change at that point, so we can be fine with that. And this wasn't going to move anything out. I think there should be one more check in the game loop, like right up here before we do the system clear. Check if player is in the goal location. Doing that to show that I need to still fill that part in. Whoops. Yep. I'm leaving 2 extra slots like that, which is out of my normal commenting pattern, just so that way I know that I should be paying attention to this. This is out of my usual routine. Why is this here? Then I'll realize I haven't put the code in there yet. So we still need to finish up our switch. We want to make sure that we do this right, so we need to do a break here. I'll have to copy this as an else. Pop that in there. I don't think we need to do the system clear again. Just say, can't move here. Alright, that breaks out of that, which means that our next is going to be case I left if player 1 dot player coordinates dot x is not equal to 0, open bracket, close bracket, player 1 dot player coordinates dot x minus equals 1, else this crap. Yep, break case I down if player 1 dot player coordinates dot y is not equal to what was it? Height? Doesn't really matter. K height, K width. K height. So if it's not equal to the limits of our height, then we can plus equals. Let me put the stuff there first. Player 1, player coordinates dot y plus equals 1, along with the else statement. Break it. Final case, case I underscore right. And same deal, if player 1 dot player coordinates dot x is not equal to k width, then that means that we can player 1 dot player coordinates dot x plus equals 1. Be the last one there. So now we have a switch. We have a function that doesn't return anything because it doesn't really need to. But it will go ahead and take in the directional input that the player gives them, and it will first check to see if it's a good input, and then if it is not, it will continue on to the switch. So first, upon checking if it's a good input, it's going to check if it's equal to any of our constant values that are good, which is WASD, or up, down, left, right, or up, left, down, right, if you want that to be in the correct order. And then we go ahead and clear the screen and tell the player, hey, unrecognized input, try again. We don't even want them to see the maze at that point. They didn't do the right thing. But we also haven't told them to, so we'll make sure to put the instructions up here in the print map. Anyway, assuming that they did do one of the WASD inputs, this switch will go ahead and check which one they did. It'll check if we're already at the limits of where we're allowed to be, aka edge map. And if we're not at the edge map and not trying to move off the map, we should be able to set our coordinate location appropriately. Now, once we are at a certain point, which is what I'm going to wind up putting right here, I'm going to say if player 1 dot current index I need a goal. We'll add it to the constant expression. Constant expression. Crap. It'll be a coordinate pair. No, better yet, it'll be an index. Int goal index ID. And we're going to set that value. Currently, it will be... I really closed out that picture again. There is something really wrong with me. Move it over and then do not get rid of it again. Jeez. Not so hard? Oh, okay, so it's literally the last value there, so it'll be 63. Technically 64. Currently, it is technically equal to map size. That's crazy. So, at least with the way that's currently written, the goal index ID is always going to be at the bottom right corner of your map. So, if player 1 dot current index I need to set my index afterwards, actually. Before I run the game loop again. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I might cut the game loop thing out of all of these and just have it be at the end. Right outside of the switch. Right? Actually. That wasn't outside of the switch. It was only outside of one of the if-else's. There we go. No, technically I was outside of the switch. I wasn't outside of the if-else loop. Okay, so now no matter what our results are, because we were pretty much going to the game loop at the end of everything anyway, which is what we wanted, so we still kind of want the same thing. But now we're also going to double check and make sure that we get player 1 dot current index is equal to get index at coordinates player 1 dot x. Oh, I need to do player coordinates dot x, player 1 dot player coordinates dot y, and then k width. This is actually going to be something that happens in the positive scenario of all of these. And if we never got to move, then we don't update our index because we didn't change anything. Cool. First thing we want to check is we're going to say, instead of if, we're going to say while. While game running. Can you not? Are you good? No? Not good? Oh, there you go. See, you caught up eventually. So while the game is running, we can add it here. So while game is running, we need to see if player 1 dot current index is equal to goal index ID. Because if it is, well, then that means that we have to... This should go on the outside. I don't know if this would continue running through the whole code if it suddenly went through and then hit something that toggled it. So, at the start of the game loop, we want to double check and make sure that we aren't at our goal index. Because if we're at the goal index, then that's it. Game's done, right? Oh, wait, we should also consider that for our map printout. So it'll print all these. Okay. And that was just the initial map. Here's the one that would replace with a player. Else if if index, oh my god, index is equal to goal index ID. And we're gonna do that thing. That thing is gonna be std cout. And I think we had it set to... Oh, we didn't set something for the actual goal thing, so we're just going to say string, capital X, and then we'll just end it with an std ndl. Oh wait, technically we don't need the end line there. Yeah, we don't. I can end that right there. Cool. Just in case. Because if the goal index ID isn't going to be the last thing in your array, then you don't want to put an end line in your loop somewhere that would possibly randomly space your entire maze down and then break the whole thing. So leave the end line for the very, very end of the function there for when you're running that. Let's see. Get player direction. Input. That gets sketch thing. Blah de blah de blah. And at the end of that move space, so I think that should be everything. Although I feel like this won't even compile. I don't know why. What am I forgetting? Alright, yeah, build errors. Where are they? A bunch of things can be made static. That's fine. I'll ignore those. Okay, yeah, I just gotta move map size down, because it matters what order you put these things in here at. So expression did not evaluate to a constant, game loops identifier not found, player direction not found, all probably because of one little thing. Let's try it again. No. Identifier not found. That's it, just make them static. That's all you got for me? What if I don't wanna? To move space, there's the print map. I'm gonna move these up and out of here. Stick them all the way on the ass end bottom. And then, just for shits and giggles, giggles and shits, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. We're back. Oh, I forgot to check on that thing. That's what I'm talking about. My little trick worked, and it almost worked too much because I forgot to, complete the trick. But no harm, no foul. Can is no worse for wear. Basically, that thing was a little warmer than room temp. And an hour in the fridge didn't help it, so I put it in a Ziploc bag with an ice pack in it and filled that with water and then let it sit in some chilled water in a freezer. And it was supposed to only be for like 15 minutes. And it was for like another hour. Cheers. Mmm. Mmm. Oh, now that's actually helping my headache recede again. Nice. Okay. Bum bum ba bum bum boo 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 boo. So you said game loop identifier cannot be found. What would be the identifier for you? I can see that everything can be made static. No identifier found for get player direction input or game loop. Does that fix it at all? Oh, hey, it does, somehow. Interesting. Uh-oh. We hit errors. Let me get rid of the pause that I had in here, if I remember where I had it. I think I put it here. Negative. Was it in move space? No. Yeah, it was there. Ah, it hit more issues. But where? 184. Like, you're not even printing anything out. Oh, I see that it's actually doing something. It says unrecognized input. Please try again. So why aren't you recognizing the inputs? Bada bada bum. Bada bada bum bum bum. Might have to switch up that getch instead to a little something else. So instead of like enter an index, it would be pick a direction, right? I'm not gonna sweat about it. We still have time. So this I'll leave as the first check, that's fine. I can get rid of this because I decided I didn't need that. Okay. Gonna have it print out the stuff, and then STD for standard, not for sexually transmitted disease. Standard, C out. Navigate maze with ASD. We want to make sure we also do standard call there because the end line is actually a function that's a part of the standard namespace. If you want to not have to type STD or standard or any of the namespaces that you're using, it is in fact called a namespace, and that's something that we're actually familiar with if we're used to scripting in Unity, because we're used to doing like include Unity engine stuff, or rather we don't use it as including in scripting for C#. Instead, we just do the same thing that is done here in C++ for namespaces, which is using. Should be familiar with that. So we're going to be using namespace standard. If you do that, suddenly it doesn't matter if we type this in front of it. We could honestly just get rid of it, and look, there's no error anymore. Easy. But our instructor wants to hammer the old format into our heads, so I am going to learn the way that they want me to learn, and it actually does help, because then whenever something is wrong in my code, one of the first things I like to think about, if it's not like a very obvious error, is let me check my namespaces and make sure that I don't need anything for this. And in that same breath, you want to make sure that you're using the right directories, which is what those includes are. Right, so I needed to revamp this a little bit. Let's see it get to this point without triggering any of the other stuff. Oh no. That's not good. Ah, I see. Yes, that does not go there. Haha, that part did not go there. That part went somewhere around here. Whoopsies! Okay, so it's printing out the way I want it to, but the problem is that it's looking flickery. Why is it flickery? That was interesting. It shouldn't be running constantly. Alright, so I guess here is where I would wind up saying... stdcin. And what value was I going to be getting? Right. I was going to do move space, get player direction input. And CN needs the opposite arrows. Wait a minute. Doing something wrong. Doing something wrong. Okay, so that part's actually okay. Is it because I'm doing something that it doesn't want me to? Let me see, do I have a temporary value for inputs? No, I don't. So what if I just go ahead and create one? Char detected input, and then cin detected input, and then I run that through goddamn things, which would kind of neutralize this. So that would make move space detected input. Yeah. If I use detected input for that, what did they use that for? What did you use that for? That was an entirely different project, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Using detected input with where the hell did my function go? I minimized it, that's why. So using that directional input, we'll check for those. What's this? Incorrect operator. No. What do you mean that's the incorrect operator? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's the operator I intended. Trying to tell me to use the AND operator. Fuck. Anyway. We checked first if there's a recognized input. I'm going to get rid of that clear there. Don't think it should be there. And if we're good for this one, then everything else should be fine. Yeah. And then go back into the game loop should, you know, that all work out. Okay, break. Quite literally. Okay. Moment of truth. I hit W. Oh, wait a minute. Aha. Unrecognized input. Oh, is it because I technically would have gone one over? Oh, I hit the loop again. Alright. It kinda did something. Wondering why it didn't update my thing. So let me change this this CN to possibly would it work if I just did that and then decided to ignore these? Would that still work? Well, let's find out. It worked because it went on. But what did it do? It did detect a D, which should have equated to going right. Our current coordinates are 0 and 1, so that must mean that this should be fine, and that would make our coordinate, player 1 coordinate X. Hey, whoa, whoa. That should have been upped 1, buddy. What's going on there? Okay. It's like partially there. This went back to an incorrect operator. Why is that doing that? Alright, we're gonna do it the long way. Recently got Romance Saga 2, that is a game that has classes that represent time to different characters throughout a 1,000-year war through time that has permadeath system in it, while being turn-based RPG game. Remake of a Super Nintendo game. That sounds kind of dope. I love things that fuck with time. I hate time. Disrespect time everywhere. Primarily in the business, because they want to waste our time, right? Woo! Just kidding. Warm tolerant. Okay. Nice. Okay, yeah, I understand. I'll have to give that game a playthrough. Thank you, Mr. Wiesner. Astrobot. I'll add that to my list. Alright, so first things first, we're gonna change this up a little bit. We're gonna take this and add it to a default. It wouldn't be a case, it would just be default. So if we default it, yeah, that'll work. Get rid of that. Everything up to there, honestly. I'm just going to cut that. Get rid of that. Why is that in green? The definition not... that might be one of the issues. Took that out, restuck it there. Now let me take this function and drop it below the game. Pretty much want to put everything else below the game loop. Oh yeah, that's right. That's relatively useless as well. It was just a bunch of relayed things at that point. Let's see where this leaves us off. Build errors, perfect. That's what I figured. Move space identified not found, or identifier not found. So where's my... Aha! Was that one actually also a void? Void game loop. Void move space. Yes, it was. What else is broken for you? Function does not take an argument. Ah, yes. Wait, what? But... Okay. So here's what we'll do. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. But won't really get rid of that because what we're going to do is underscore getch, and I think doing this will assign it to that? No, never mind. Let me cut that out and say this is equal to that. And then this is protected input. Want to try that out? No? Won't work. Does not take an argument. Oh! Yeah. Whoopsies. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and re-hide these. And see if I can't get away with doing this the underscore getch way. Yeah, that should work. When you comment it out, it completely ignores what's there, so the fact that I still have stuff inside of the parameter, it doesn't matter. So let's see. My player is moving. Uh-oh. It's detecting another row that it shouldn't. At least on the length. Let me see what it does on the height. I never told it that that it can't enter spaces that are occupied by... Okay, yeah, I still have to do that. And technically I would have entered an area that would have put me outside of the parameter, so it decided to say, yeah, you definitely hit the goal. Alright. So at least we got it to do the movement things we needed. Now we just need to tell it what not to do and when to terminate. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I think for our check over here, not here, in the game loop, specifically the part that checks where we are in relation to the goal, yeah, right here. If player one dot ooh, hold up. Coordinate pairs. Goal. Coordinates. We'll set that equal to something. So this is actually going to be equal to something that's not yet existent here. Damn. It's equal to goal index ID. No, it's not. It was get x at index goal index ID, and then get y at index goal index ID. Ah, they need the width. Whoops. I'm still perplexed about the wall. Oh, right. I know how to fix that. Never mind. X at index. Index ID. I needed the width. My brain just stopped thinking and reading altogether. Alright, that's there, so we can check if we're at the goal coordinates instead of just the goal, index. What else? Right, my move logic. So, the thing that I messed up on here was for the ones that add 1 to the value, I forgot to do the thing that we're supposed to do every time we're dealing with arrays. Oh, wait. That wasn't where I wanted that. That was K width. Where's the other? Oh yeah, it was supposed to be... -1. I was wrong there. Not there, though. That one was a good one. That needed to be there. K width -1, and then it was supposed to be up here. K height -1. And we want to go ahead and check up here again. Change this from current index to player coordinates and check if they are equal to the goal coordinates. Huh. Well. Unfortunate. So how about this? Player coordinates dot x is equal to goal coordinates dot x. And since it wanted to do and so badly before, now we can do and. Player 1 dot player coordinates dot y is equal to goal coordinates dot y. If those are that, then game running equals false. We're done. We win. It's over. Sorry about that. Okay. Build errors. Sure, let's take a look at them. Uh-huh. That's what I figured. Okay, so what if I come up here and declare, int get x at index, int index ID width, which should also be an int. And then do that. Yep. Gonna do the same thing. But we're gonna call this one a y. now that they exist, let's do this compilation thing and see if it works. Equal operand must be, what? Ah, I see. That's fair. So what if I don't set it as a constant expression? Even though it technically wouldn't change. I'm sorry? Uh. 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 Let's try that again. See what turns loose. Must be a modifiable value. And the... Okay. Wait, which one's got to be a modifiable value? Not fun. Alright, so what happens if I just yank that out? And then go ahead and try and paste it back in. Yeah, you're still going to say there's something wrong with this right here. Must be modifiable L value? What's unmodifiable about my stuff? I don't like. Yeah, that's the index thing. I think I can actually go back to the index since I fixed that thing, and I think that might be the better bet. Let's get rid of this overcomplication that we were foolishly attempting. Which was here. Say goodbye. And it does the thing I need it to again. Let's get a zoom in. Alright. We can see that it says that we can't move there if we try and move to spaces that we can't. But we can still walk through stuff. So I still need to tell it that it cannot traverse areas that have that specific character blocking it. Okay. I need to go ahead and set that value actually to map size -1. Perfect. We should also have to make sure that the index at the coordinates. All right, I understand. 1 dot player coordinates hold up. I'm going to make temporary values up here. One is going to be coordinate pairs, intended coordinate. Alright, so before our if statements, we're going to go ahead and set our intended coordinates to whatever they should be with these new values, which should be, let's see, if this is going up, then our x value is going to remain as player 1 dot player coordinates dot x, while y is going to become player 1 dot player coordinates dot y plus 1. Or was this minus 1? This was minus 1. So with those intended coordinates in place, we want to double check and make sure that that intended coordinates are not equal to... Oh, wait a minute. What would the value be at the index? Oh, right. I know how to get it. I just need to think about how to write this. So, using coordinates, get index value, compare index value against index variables stored to see if it's a wall. Now that I've typed that out so that way I can understand it in my own brain. Okay. We're gonna do that. Wonderful. So we want to compare get index at coordinates intended coordinates dot x, intended coordinates dot y, okay, width. So we want to make sure that the index at coordinates blah blah blah, or rather that, what is it, gmaps. I forgot the name. Yeah, gmap, and then we'll set this as the index. So we're checking to see if the index in the map at the intended coordinates and width is equal to our direction input. Not equal to the direction input. Hang on. That's getting the index, but not the actual value that's stored there. Heard the creator of One Piece has issues, so he's taking a long break. That is probably why they delayed the anime. That's conjecture and hearsay. I've been keeping very close tabs on that, but when it was put out by, you know, the people he works for, they said, it's not health related, don't worry, we're just taking 2 weeks. That's what it was. The last and only time that we've heard of his health issues was when he needed an eye surgery, and it was very noticeable. And it was noticeable particularly in the chapter that he did, like, right before he went for surgery. And it was an emotionally impactful chapter anyway, so seeing the, like, messed up drawings and looking really sketchy and liney and shaky gave it so much extra credence to, like, the heavy emotional impact of the moment anyway. So it was just like, he even used his, like, health issue at that time to better the franchise, which was crazy. But he's been fine. And if there's any, like, actual updated news on that, that's gonna be, like, big news, and not something small that's just gonna be like reaction channels talking about it. It is just people speculating right now, because no one really knows. Oda's a private person. That's why his real face isn't out there. That's why his icon has always just been him with the fish face, the fish head. He is the big fish. I have 2 things in error here. One is here. Where did it expect that? I don't know what's happening down there. I think I might just need to finish up this. That's why. Yeah, that's what's making it freak out. Derp. I needed to look up one extra thing here. And it was... Let's see. C++. Oh wait, I have a window open right here where y'all can see what's going on. C++, get specific value, or get value, not value, value from specific index in array. Yes. Tell me, show me the ways. Huh. Use the following methods, right? If you know the index of the element you want to access, yes. Yes. I know how to get that, but the actual value of it. So there's the array of 5 things. There's index equals 2 to access the 3rd element, and then value equals array index. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Now what about to locate the element at a specific index? Find. Pointing to the element. So it looks through array. That returns an iterator. I don't need an iterator. Oh. Huh. Can't be doing all that. So what if I auto? I don't know what auto is. Value 11. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. Okay, so auto is one of the things I needed to do, which means I need to declare that, what, up here? Find is array, and array plus n. N is what, the size of array? So... And what was val? First occurrence of the value. That's not what I need either. Let's see. Compare value from specific index in array for an if statement. See if that'll change how they're doing it, because they're giving me a whole lot of not what I'm actually looking for. Oh yeah, so technically that should just work. Yeah. I've been getting confused this whole time because when I see get index, I'm thinking that I'm trying to compare an int to the character that I am going to be telling it to compare against, when I'm not. I'm telling it to get the int and then look in the array at that index location to give me the character. Okay, now I see where my brain was lapsing. That's why I was like, I shouldn't need to do this auto thing. What? No. That hasn't... We haven't done that. And now I know why. Okay, so... here, and we named it... what was it? C underscore... or we just... we didn't name it anything, did we? We did that? No. E underscore wall. That's what it was. So if it's not equal, there we go. Now I can delete this other shit, because now this should make sense. Oh. Boop. I was like, why is everything wrong? Okay. Now let me take this and add it where needed. Because honestly, it shouldn't need to be changed for these other ones. But I will need to put their actual calculations above the if statements to continue. because or else it's going to have the same value each time. So that was up here. And then we change it based on what we need for the direction. So for up, it was subtracting 1 from y. For left, it's going to be subtracting 1 from x. Do that. That. And then do that. Ta-da! I'm just gonna take this and jump straight down to right. Drop that there. Do a +1. Same with the up going into down. Be a +1. Okay, so theoretically, this should stop us from being able to go through walls. Let's go ahead and do our thing. Maximize this. Alright, we can't move there. And we can't move there! Ha! We've done it. We've created a little maze game using only C++ code and bashing our head against it with minimal help from a template. Or not really a template, but from previous projects that we did. And then we get to the end. Hooray! We win! Although it really should print on top of that. Let's see what we can do about it. Because since I started an hour early, you'll notice that I'm still sticking around. It's past 9 o'clock. I'm not spazzing about it. Since I started an hour late, I can give y'all at least a half hour more. I am going to run to the bathroom again, though, because I be doing that. I'm back. Alright, now let's take a look. I can go ahead and back out of that now. Requirements. User sees the maze in the form of a grid of tiles with a size of at least 8 by 8. Use the period character to represent an empty tile. Use the @ character to represent the player character's current position. Use the # character to represent a wall. Player can't move through wall. Use the X character to represent the exit. When the player touches this, the game ends in a win. Do not allow the player character to move off the edges of the map. Okay. I can get rid of this. I can get rid of this. let's see, if index is equal to goal index ID and player 1 dot current index is not equal to goal index ID. So that way it doesn't draw that still as the thing. Because it did keep the X before. Let's see. Oh, now that I reread your sentence, Admin, I know you're not currently in here, but rereading it, the long break of One Piece is not because of those health issues. It was the anime's taking the break because they basically caught up to the manga. If they kept going at that rate, they would have been, you know, still having to take a break anyway and say, hey, we are literally like on Oda's ass. There is nothing else for him to give us right now, and we'd have to make a bunch of filler otherwise. So rather than waste people's money and time to go ahead and make filler that's just gonna make the fan base upset, they decided to go ahead and instead focus on the remake of One Piece. A remastered re-release of the One Piece story starting at a particular saga. Yeah, so they're doing other One Piece stuff, but it's not to do with his health. And the One Piece anime will be returning in April. So they're giving time up to that point for Oda to go ahead and catch up, do some more chapter releases. And in the meantime, Oda recently has gone ahead and said, hey, I need a couple weeks. So even though there was no break scheduled, they're saying, hey, just for reasons, we're going to go ahead and wait. No big deal. Alright, so we know where we can't move. Trying repeatedly to make sure. Hooray! Out. You won! Do a little /n in there. Make sure that's a / lowercase n, and then end that off. And then I feel like this is sufficient and complete. I didn't even need the set coordinates thing. Although, I could use it. We could try it. Where's the thing? It's over here. Let me minimize the other stuff. I don't want to break the game loop. That's good. Print map, fine. That's fine. Okay. So this is where I'm going to focus my attention. So I'm going to leave the regular version up here, but let's see if I can player 1 dot... Oh, it was in the player coordinate. Okay. Player coordinates dot set coordinates. Player coordinates dot x. then basically this, but it's not minus equals, will just be minus 1. That should be that, right? So if that's the case, I should be able to copy this, paste it here, have it be x minus 1, have y be normal, what is this? This is, let me go down to the x here, do x plus 1. Instead, for this one, do y plus 1. Now let me see if it has the same results. One, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Let's see if this works again. It still works. Nice, and it was actually a functioning part of the original struct I made with a built-in function. I can appreciate that. Nice. So I'm gonna get rid of the shorter, easier part since we have the fancier part that looks cool. For the hell of it. Now, this is the time where I'd say make sure to comment everything, so that way it's all understandable and things like that. But I'm probably just going to hand this one off, so that way I don't have to request a day extension. That's... And I kind of want to grab player 1 and move them, like, up. Up! 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 That's fine. It'll work. The rest of the stuff isn't really used before these points, so we're going to make sure that it is kind of together. Hopefully that won't break it. I'll double check it to be sure. Again. And again and again. I'll go ahead and create a region here. And we'll call this region coordinate control. And this is for obviously getting coordinates, getting indexes, and moving in and around said things that we just said. And let me give these a little bit of a separation. And bam. You can just say starts here. Runs once. Loop until game complete. Alright. I think we can also make a region here and call this one function declarations. What's that? I'm gonna put comments above the regions just because the regions are kind of hard to see with that text color, and I tried to find what text color that was to change it, and that was the one thing I couldn't find. It's wild, ain't it? Coordinate control. Preset map array of characters. And looks like the rest is just kinda just. So we have our structs, and then I'm going to say, of course, region. And this is going to be constant expressions, along with constant expressions, along with a simple C++ only maze game. For GAM 606 underscore. Oh no, wait, this was GAP 125. Never mind. 25 module 9, I think. Give it my legal name. Give it my sergeant tag. And then we GTFO out of here. Drag these constant expressions up here as originally intended. Okay. That's it. The whole maze game is right there. Let's play it, see, make sure that it does things in the right way, the right order. It can still do all the things we want it to do. And now that I know about things like step rates and stuff like that, I know that I could definitely redo my attempts at... Woo! Redo my attempts at a Pac-Man game from a former class from semesters ago, and probably do much better at it. What was your final game you're going to make for the class of Rapid Games? The game that I'm going to make is a shoot-'em-up maze game. Mine's actually going to be kind of like a beat-'em-up maze game. It's going to feel like a dungeon crawler. I'm going to have it be a first-person perspective, 3D, made in Unreal Engine. I'm picturing a feel of, like, being in a Frostpunk environment, trying to break out of a frozen prison. I just noticed that your comment got removed or deleted, but I already read it before it did that. I'm going to have like a Frostpunk aesthetic, and I want the first-person perspective to make the player feel almost like the Doom character, because they'll be facing all the other enemies in first person, but they won't have any, like, the player won't have any guns. Some of the enemies will have guns, but the others won't, so you'll just be able to beat the crap out of them. Yeah. I got like a 4 or 5 page document that I turned in already for that class. I didn't put any of the like actual enemy information, which could have extended it by like a page or two, but I don't feel like I needed to write to fill for quantity there. But what I can say is that we'd done it. We did it, and with 15 minutes to spare before hitting like the full makeup of an hour. So, woo! I'm just gonna go ahead and bring us to the end scene. All right. So that wraps it up, ladies and gentlemen. From the start of the stream to the end, we started with nothing except for a few stripped bits of code, and we turned it into a fully playable little maze game. And I think that's amazing. I'm middle-aged, all right? Give me a break. Anyway, I want to go ahead and give thanks to Abman for being here. Thank you, brother. Really. It's nice to be able to look up every now and again and see, you know, some sort of interaction that I can have with someone. I really enjoy that. It breaks me out of the funk of the fact that I spend no time with anybody. So, with all that said and done, ladies and gentlemen, be good to each other, have a good one, and I will see y'all in the next one. Stay frosty.